And so ideally, there is no P3, because it seems ideally I only, within one waking phase, eat 2 times. Because every time I eat, if I don't just eat protein powder, I have carbs in my system. And the carbs from my system, if I don't need to refill glycogen stores, they just end up in my bloodstream, almost like short-circuiting a battery. My body temperature increases, in summer often from, let's say, fasting 28, 29 degrees Celsius, skin temperature measured on my Garmin watch, to then, after a meal, 30, 31, 32, 33, and sometimes even 34 degrees Celsius. If my skin temperature has reached 34 degrees Celsius, and in the last couple of years also having a few liver issues, I often reach this point, then I have carbs in my system. I'm mentally already way too tired to now do something about it, and I then end up in a kind of limbo, a zombie state. I'm tired, but I cannot sleep because digestion would be aided by moving and also sped up by moving, and still I have the carbs in my system, which, if I don't use them, just like a battery gets hot, basically metabolically poison me. But probably the body, especially also in P1, has calculated these carbs to be utilized in the workout. One probably can think of carb utilization during workout as 2, maybe and 2.5 different carb streams. It's actually more like 3.5. The first stream would be muscle glycogen that is then used locally in the muscle. The second stream would be liver glycogen that is seemingly mostly used to stabilize the whole system. The third stream is then carbs from the digestive tract, which probably, as most endurance athletes that do workouts that last longer than, let's say, 30 to 60 minutes, they seem to eat something. In other words, the glycogen stores, at least for a required high intensity, let's say anywhere in between zone 3 to 5, because zone 2, at least for myself, at least based on my own observations on myself, seems to still be somewhat possible in fat oxidation. How do I know this? Because, well, if I was riding like 15 kilometers on the bike, and then I did strength training, and then my body temperature is already going down, then basically I am nearing a ketogenic state, a fasting state. Both measured, as on my Garmin, as well as subjective skin temperature, seem to drop eventually, once the body is no longer digesting. There is almost a steep cutoff, and then I visit the bathroom. It's like the skin temperature as measured on my Garmin Fenix 7S Pro often is just dropping off. And also, after eating, I often feel hot in my hands and my feet, as well as the rest of my body, but of course here the blood is turning over, so the palms of feet and hands seem to be used as kind of heat evaporators. And so, because eating kind of is inherently tied to at least doing some activity, and ultradian phases only last so long, it seems that at least ideally one doesn't want to risk eating with no activity.